Welcome to In the Library with Marsha and not Adrian today. He's off, but we do have a very special guest with us today. Joining me today is...
Hi, I'm Nancy Bellaire. I'm the director of the Monroe County Library System.
Thank you. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to talk about this topic because it's topical. For one thing, it's going on right now. And you are here to tell us all about the Blues series here at the library system. So do you want to get started with that?
Sure, I can. The Blues, I'm going to give you a mini version of the history, and then we can dig into it deeper if you want. The library's been doing a celebration of blues activities, celebrating Black History Month for like 37 years, because this is the 37th annual blues series. It's been a really fabulous series for us. We've been lucky to have some great partners throughout the years. Funding partners this year include the DTE Foundation, the Monroe County Community College, the Friends of the Library from the Bedford, Carleton, Dorsch, Ellis, Ida, and South Rockwood branches. And also for the first time, we have support from the NAACP, the Monroe chapter, which is really another fabulous partnership to have. So yeah, just to get started, what this concert series is all about is celebrating Black history and music that started years and years ago before any of us have anything recorded for a variety of reasons. And actually the evolution of the African-American music was actually addressed at our first concert, which was last Tuesday, January 30th at Dorsch. Reverend Jones actually brought a couple surprise guests too. They talked about, and I can't tell you this without going into more details, so sorry about that.
No, it's wonderful.
It's occupational hazard. They talked about how music actually told stories. I think we all kind of in the back of our minds knew that, but it really did help to provide actual navigation for slaves leaving the South. They couldn't have secret meetings and talk about it, but they could sing, and they sung about going over the river. And not only was that a directional tool, but it also provided a way to provide a break for the dogs to not pick up their scent any longer. So things that, maybe you and I don't think about all these years later were really pivotal in how those early people survived their travels. So they talk about those kinds of things.
Yeah. So conversation and, like you said, navigational,
yeah,
and
just really beyond.
So interesting for the lyrics.
Yeah, in the back of your mind, about the spirituals and the gospel of it, and how maybe we're thinking about more recent transitions like Chuck Berry influenced Elvis, right? But there was a really very basic need filled by
even like a recording of it, right, to pass that down, to pass that on.
Yeah, so, it's really kind of wild.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And then it became a little more mainstream a little bit later in time. There was a university called Fisk University, and they had Black gospel groups. They had different performers that they were able to send to Europe. And finally, the Europeans were able to hear what was happening in the United States. And they're like, wow, this is kind of cool. This is really profound stuff. And the harmonies, it's just different than they had heard anywhere else, because they're used to more classical stuff. So it was really a very interesting night. And of course,
the history of blues.
Right. Yeah. And then it did talk about, the Chuck Berrys and the people that we think of as more recent, right? Super contemporary, but in the last 50 or 100 years. So anyway, that was a
evolution of blues. I love it.
It was great. Really
so
great.
Very informative
and touching. And touching. They started with Amazing Grace, which I think gave everybody chills because it often does. And at the end, they sang "We Shall Overcome," which I didn't expect to be so profoundly touching as it was. It was very moving. So anyway,
and he's a great performer too, and a great man, and he's done such great partnerships over the years.
Pivotal to the origins of this concert series, which again, more detailed than you probably wanted to know.
No, that's great.
He was here for the very first concert at the Navarre branch, and it's been an awesome partnership. And I'm going to say leadership from him, actually. Not with all due modesty, he's really been one of the main heartbeats of this series. Anyway, enough about the one that's already happened. Coming up, we have the Jones Trio coming very shortly, and hopefully this podcast can get aired before that.
Tonight.
That will be Tuesday, February 6th at the Carleton branch. This will be the Jones Trio. This happens to be Robert Jones Jr., Rosa Warner Jones, and Arnesia Jones. This would be Reverend Jones' own daughter, son, and daughter-in-law. These guys are awesome. They joined him on stage for the other concert, and they will be an amazing program.
So maybe it'll be reciprocal. Maybe there'll be a surprise guest at their concert.
I would not be shocked. It could happen. And sometimes
Sure.
Reverend Jones' wife comes too. So
Oh, nice.
we'll see how that goes.
Yes.
Then on Tuesday, February 13th, at the Bedford branch, we have Ramona Collins. She is a singer that explores the roots of American music with a performance called When Jazz and Blues Come Together. She is joined by an all-star band, including pianist Cliff Monar, bassist Dave Stearns, and drummer Sean Dobbins. That's going to be a great one. And that is been hyped so much in the Toledo area that Buckeye Cable has asked if they can come and film that.
Oh,
And he said,
great.
of course, as long as it's
Yes.
okay with the performer.
Sure.
She said yes. So that's going to be something that if you're in the Bedford Township area and you have cable,
That's
you can
exciting.
watch
Yes.
that after the fact, even if you can't make it on the 13th. Then on Tuesday, February 20th at Ida, we have acoustic country blues singer and guitarist Danny Croha. He will be talking about early blues, folk, and country. And that's another thing that Reverend Jones talked about, the fact that country music and blues music are cousins. And you could sing the exact same lyrics using a different style, same chord, same everything. And you get a different song. It sounds like a completely different song, but it's the same. So that's pretty fun. Coming up next, then chronologically is, I guess I'm going to do this chronologically. The next one chronologically is February 24th. That is, of course, the big gig, which is the one that happens at the community college. It is going to be awesome. That is the biggest event I think that we probably do annually. We've got a lot of other things that happen in the library system, but this is probably the biggest bang under one roof at one given time. Anyway, that is going to have Robert Jones Sr. introducing and kicking us off, and also some performances from him. And a guy that some of you guys may know, his name's Laith Al-Sadi. He's from Ann Arbor. He's been on The Voice, and he got a really great following there. A guy named Bobby Murray will be here with his band, and Lenny Watkins and Tasha Owens. Tasha Owens is a repeat performer from other years, very well received. She's coming back. So it's going to be awesome. It's at the college on February 24th at 7 p.m. I don't know if I've always said the time, so forgive me for that.
Well, we always try to remind everyone you can go to our calendar on myMCLS.com and you can go on there and check the events calendar, or you could call your local branch, call the library. What's playing tonight and where, just in case sometimes I feel like they hear the location and they maybe have it in their head it's at a different branch. So you can always call us. You can go on Facebook. Absolutely. You can check our Facebook account, and you can also go to our events calendar on our website. Lots of places to look this up.
Definitely. And if you're old school and want a flyer on your fridge, those are on the desks of each of the branches of the Monroe County Library System.
If you're old school like me, I like the flyers.
Well, they're still popular. Then again, going chronologically back to the branches on Tuesday, February 27th, this will be at the Ellis Library and Reference Center, also at 7. This is the dynamic Detroit singer named Zoom. She actually has a real name, but the stage name is Zoom.
I love that.
She features a high energy show, big surprise, in the tradition of classic women's blues, artists like Coco Taylor. And she'll have a special guest joining the band on guitar, a famous, fabulously popular guy that was here last year called Chris Canis. Okay. So he was big enough and popular enough that the Monroe Parks and Rec had him come for a concert of his very own last year in the summer.
Now I've never heard. No, she's never performed for us before.
No, I don't believe so.
I had not heard that name before either. So I'm excited. I'm excited to hear her perform.
It's gonna be awesome too. And then bringing up the final show, March 5th. It's a terrible problem to have when you have more programs than fit on Tuesday night.
Program, I know. Tuesday Bluesdays, I love that. Tuesday Bluesdays.
So we're bleeding. We started early and we're bleeding into March.
I think it's great. It's a good problem.
On March 5th at the South Rockwood branch, we have Howard Glazer and Harmonica Shaw. They're both blues veterans, and they do a version of the classic guitar and harmonica duo. They've both been playing the Detroit circuit for decades, and they've toured nationally and even internationally. So again, a really well-rounded, versatile group. We tried really hard again to keep them local for a variety of reasons. We want people to be able to sample what's available regionally here and celebrate our own history. So it's a great thing. I don't know what else.
I mean, you've been obviously instrumental since the first year, 37 years ago. You've been a part of it all. And again, we can't really talk about the blues without mentioning Bill Reiser. Right. I feel like you have done some great tributes to him in the past, and especially during the weird COVID Zoom where they still, jumped on and made some things happen just to keep this tradition on. And I think was last year the first year it was live?
Yes.
And I thought last year, and I thought the attendance was amazing. It picked up like it had never paused. So I'm excited for this year and for the attendance to come back. And I know there's other people that are very instrumental in this.
Absolutely. Yeah. Backtracking a little bit, Bill Reiser, we've talked about a few times. Bill was really sort of the spark plug. And if Reverend Jones was the heart, Bill was the spark plug to help orchestrate all of this together. The guy that worked for the library at the time, a guy by the name of Tim McGorry, who was phenomenal. He has been a great resource helping to secure the talent, help find the talent.
This year, he's still involved, right?
I do that. The black and white stuff, right? The grants, do the follow-ups, help make sure that, all the plates are spinning. But these guys are on the ground, boots on the ground, knowing the talent, working with them, negotiating the pricing, helping me every step of the way. So yeah, none of us could do this alone. We also have had great help from former theater coordinator Tom Ryder from the college. He has since retired, but he's still on board helping us out. And his replacement, Bill Wilt, has been very helpful as well. So it's been a huge, collaboration. We meet at least monthly, year round, pretty much, because even though the big stuff, getting the publicity together, getting all their photos, getting all the contracts done, requesting all the checks, all that stuff happens sort of within a couple 3-month period toward the end. There's stuff that happens year round. Like we sort of review what happened last year, start thinking about what grants we might be able to apply for, and really kind of just problem solve and troubleshoot all year long. So yeah, it's been a great thing, and we hope, and we feel that Bill would be happy with how we're proceeding. And I think he'd be charmed and amused, actually.
I thought that too. I thought, knowing Bill, you're right, he'd be snickering here and there, but also I think he would just be glad that it's still going on.
Absolutely.
I mean, certainly like he was the driving force, and it was we couldn't have done so much without him, right. But I think he would also be glad to see it's carrying on.
Oh, for sure. And quite honestly, the first year that he passed was that crazy COVID year. Reverend Jones said, "So what do you think? I mean, do you say it's been a great 35 years and say, thanks so much, we're out?
I know.
Or do we try to keep it going?"
But I feel like the community sort of was not, I don't want to say an outcry, but I feel like
they helped convince me for sure.
Yes, right.
So, and of course, having these partners on board to actually that know the music. I don't know the music. It's not the thing that I go. Let's face it. I don't go to clubs and listen to things. I just don't do that in my personal life. So to have these people that know it and live it and breathe it and could help teach me along the way has been really, really helpful. But I don't pretend that I'm any kind of be all end all in this field, but I can help provide the support that can make it happen.
And to make those connections between the library and,
absolutely
provide the venue and
be the fiscal agent. Somebody's got to do I always say, this from other county meetings. Sometimes somebody's got to be the administrative drag. That's me, but I can make it happen on that front for them. So
sure. Yeah, no, I think I'm so excited, and it is a following. There are tons of people that lifers, some of them have been coming all 37 years that come to these performances. Some new people. I love to see the turnout and it's the energy. The crowds that come to these performances is so it's just like a family. It's such a great energy, and it's such a great community. So I always love when blues season comes around.
It truly is amazing. And even if it's not, if you don't know or think that maybe that's not my bag, what they do, I mean, because like I said, I could probably actually put myself in that category. I didn't know anything about it when this stuff first started happening. I can remember bringing my daughter, who was, I'd have to do the math. Less than a year old at the time. I'm dating myself and her, so I should be careful. But I didn't have any idea what we were walking into, really. But it's a fabulous thing, and to know how these musical instruments came to be from that first concert that we had the other night to how the traditions have passed on and spread throughout the world is pretty amazing.
To be the starting point and the source of it, and the evolution of it, the evolution of the blues music. And
last year, we also tried to get local people. There were some really great performers from the Detroit area, and I think one might have been from Toledo too, but they actually helped to tie together more current day Prince, Stevie Wonder,
Yeah.
obviously Aretha Franklin, Mahalia Jackson, some of the people that are more household names.
Mhm.
We're like, wait, that came from that?
Right.
And they helped us understand how that happened. And
Yeah.
we're like, wow, that's a really different vibe than we ever would have guessed. We just didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, we don't study this stuff in school.
Right.
The evolution of any music, much
Exactly.
less.
Exactly.
Yeah,
One genre and one like this. So it is
Yeah.
great. That's another great thing about coming to these programs is
Mhm.
you learn something, or you take something away from it, or you
Sure.
become a fan of something maybe outside of your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely a great thing. Is there anything else that you want to share about the blues or library or anything? I was really glad that you came on today. I really wanted to talk about the blues, and I feel like you're the expert in the source.
Oh,
And
please.
and again, we're looking off of the flyer, which is beautiful.
Absolutely.
The
Right.
flyer that like you said, is available at all branches.
Right.
Contains all of the events in one place, and it's beautiful. But also you can always look online, or you could call. Like you could just check anywhere to
for
see
sure.
what's going on.
For
So.
sure.
Yeah, well, thank you.
You're
Thanks again for
welcome.
joining us
Thanks for
today.
asking.
And yeah, please feel free to come to any and all of our events at the library system, especially in February and a little beyond.
Yep.
The Tuesday Bluesdays series and the big gig on February 24th at the Community College. And we hope to see you there. Thanks for joining us on In the Library with Marsha and Adrian.